Well, absolutely. The reactions are already flooding in on social media in Egypt as news of this great actor. His passing has hit the wires. I mean, he's arguably the biggest star in the history of Egyptian cinema. A big screen actor who is known for his dashing good looks and his versatility. And, he was born Michael Chalhoub in 1932 in Alexandria to Syrian Lebanese parents, but he took up acting under the name of Omar Sharif, and he went on to appear in nearly 24 Egyptian films. Several of these are classics of the golden age of Egyptian cinema during the 1950s and 60s, and his fame in Egypt only increased when he married Egypt's movie queen, Fatin Hamama, in 1955. They had a son together and divorced 20 years later. And Omar Sharif was already Egypt's biggest box office star when he was cast in Lawrence of Arabia in 1962, opposite Peter O'Toole. That film brought him international stardom, an Oscar nomination, a Golden Globe Award, and he demonstrated his versatility playing the lead role in Dr. Zhivago only 3 years later, also earning a Golden Globe. And he remained a sought-after actor for many years because of his proficiency at playing different nationalities. He played Che Guevara, he played Marco Polo, Genghis Khan, among many other roles. And in 2003, he accepted a role in the French film Monsieur Ibrahim, which won him the Caesar Award for Best Actor. Away from the movies, as you mentioned, he was a world-class bridge player who for many years wrote a newspaper column on bridge. He quit the game in later years. He was also a prodigious gambler, reportedly once winning $1 million in an Italian casino, also losing a villa in another casino. But he spent much of his later years living between Cairo and Paris. He'd been recently suffering from Alzheimer's and died of a heart attack earlier today in Cairo. He was 83. His death, of course, is very big news here in Egypt, and the country will mark the passing of its leading cinematic icon.
And I guess you could say it sort of chronicles, in a way, the ups and downs of Egyptian cinema, starting his career at home, becoming this huge actor throughout the Arab world, going on to Hollywood, and then spending a lot of his later years outside of Egypt.
Yes, he, as I mentioned before, he was, played leading roles during the golden age of Egyptian cinema in the 1950s and 60s, when Egypt was really the cultural center of the Arab world, and he became a prominent figure in the Middle East and the Arab-speaking world, and went on to international fame with Lawrence of Arabia and Doctor Zhivago and so forth. In his middle years, his career took a bit of a downturn, especially in the 80s, where he didn't act as much, but he did do some funnier roles in his later years, starring in The Pink Panther and Oh Heavenly Dog and films like that. And recently was in other films like Hidalgo and so forth. But his news is the news is very big news.
All right, many thanks for that, Sharif Abdel Kudus in Cairo.